Hey everybody, today I want to start talking about fall containers, and I'm on the road right now, so I can't plant anything up. I'm not going to be home for a while, but while Liam's been shopping in antique stores, I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of YouTubers are just starting to plant up their containers for fall, and some of them are absolutely gorgeous. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to just do a video showcasing some of my favorites, and I picked ones that, number one, are going to be YouTubers that maybe you haven't heard of, or they might be videos that you missed, or they might be including some tips or some hacks that I think are very, very useful. So that was my criteria for this video when I was picking out the ones that I wanted to specifically tell you about. So I've got my laptop here, and I've got some screen grabs from some of these videos. I am going to encourage you, go ahead and watch these videos because they are so worth it. And I'm going to have in the description on YouTube, so if you click on the title of the video, there will be a link to each of these videos as well as a playlist, which will just have all of them and it'll just automatically play them for you. So I would suggest watching each one of these YouTubers videos because they'll also, if they purchased anything or if there's certain varieties of plants that they use, most of them talk about that kind of stuff. So the first YouTuber I want to talk about is the Garden Mouse. And she's been showing us these containers all season long, and she does a great job with them. They look fantastic. Well, she shows us how in one of them she uses the pot in a pot technique. So she had her bigger planter and she had a smaller pot planted in there with her mandevilla, and she shows how easy it is to get that out of there. Then she does clean it out, and she uses that same technique again, but instead she plants something in the middle. And then in that outside area, rather than putting plants, she actually purchases some items and puts them in there. And I thought this is a really interesting solution to kind of give it a holiday flair. So if you wanted to go Halloween, or you wanted to go fall, or you wanted to switch it out maybe for Thanksgiving or some other holiday, maybe Christmas or something like that, you can easily do that with these, and depending on what you put in the center, especially like if you're in a cold climate, you put an evergreen in there, you know, it becomes, you know, universal as far as what you can do with it, and it'll last all season long. So I love this suggestion that she makes. I love what she did. She has another video that she also did where she has this beautiful kale in her containers with a couple other plants, and it looks really good. It's just really nice. The kale just kind of took my breath away, and she has a bunch of other plants in there. It's a good one. And I also love in her Halloween one, she adds these little ghosts on it, and I think, you know, some people don't like that kind of stuff. It's a little kitschy, but I think this was really nice with these little ghosts peeking around the edge. I just thought if you're into that kind of thing, that's a really good way to do it. Now, the next YouTuber I want to talk about is Soil and Margaritas. So I've been following Roxana usually in the wintertime because I don't watch very many videos in the spring and summer and even in fall. But in the wintertime, I don't miss any of her videos because partly her like cinematography or her framing of these these images is always so beautiful. Her color is so rich, and it's, you know, she is an artist just in the way she films, and she's a sweetheart, and I really love listening to her, and she gives a lot of good advice. So I really respect her a lot, and I love the fact that in her video she has these planters, and the planters were they had some zinnias in them, and they were just done. So she needs to get rid of those. She got rid of them. And I like the fact that in that video, she also says, you know, while I have these out of here, these boxwoods in front need a trimming. So she shows us that. That reminds me that, you know, when you're doing this, think of the area around it. Is there any cleanup that you need to do? Is there anything else that you can do with that space? And then she goes in, and that's all she does is 2 different plants. So she has some millet, beautiful, dark, kind of purple, burgundy, blackish millet, really beautiful, adds a lot of height. And then in between she has really large mums that she says are, I think, are going to be bright yellow. And you can tell she's like a pro gardener, or, you know, she's had some experience in this because all of her mums are closed right now. So she's, you know, and they're a ways away from opening, but she has probably been in the situation where I have, where if you buy mums when they're already opening, you're limiting the amount of time that you can enjoy them. So if you buy your mums before they open, you get to enjoy them from the very first bloom to the very last bloom. And the great thing about mums is that they are like long blooming plants, but once they're done for the season. So you don't usually get any kind of second bloom off of them, especially in a cold climate because it's so cold, they just kind of die off on you. So really great suggestion. And the other reason why I picked a lot of these videos is because they may include mums, but they all have plants other than mums. And as we're traveling across the country right now, everywhere I go and every place I see, it's just mums, mums, mums. So I love the fact that a lot of these YouTubers have expanded past just the mums. I mean, mums are great, but I love the fact that they use other things in there as well. And Roxana did do a refresh of some of her other containers, and what I love about those is that she did leave some of her plants in there. She trimmed some of them back, she took some of them out, and then she added some extras. So she added like some Rudbeckia in there just to have some fresh color in there, and some height in there, just to freshen it up. But her other plants still look good. So she was able to kind of mix and match the things that she already had in there with some new plants. Love that idea. Next up is Gardens by Monica, and she is in northern New Jersey. I should mention that Roxana from Soil and Margarita is in Indiana. So now we're going to northern New Jersey. Monica, she had gotten some containers and was going to plant them up. And her containers, though, have some special challenges because there's holes in them because they look like jack-o'-lanterns. So she shows the trick that she uses so that she can keep soil in there without it falling out of the eyeballs and out of the mouth. And I think she finds a really good solution for that. Also, I love the plants that she chose in these because she chose some varieties that have really high contrast. So in this case, she's using a millet, but it's lime green, looks so good against like the dark celosia that she used. Very, very nice solution, beautiful kind of application here, just really looks nice, and then fun because she has a fun container. That jack-o'-lantern container just gets the job done. I think she did a really nice job with this, and I'm enjoying her channel. I just found her, so she's on I've subscribed because I think she does just a nice job. I like how she talks about the plants. I like how she presents herself. It's just very enjoyable. Another great container refresh comes from the Main Street Garden, and this is Tim. He's in Nebraska, and what I love about him, number one, he buys some of the most beautiful mums I've seen. They're huge, and it sounds like he got them for a really decent price as well, or at least he was very happy with the price of them. And that's one of the things that you do want to look for is the size of the mums when you're buying them, because it is very easy to find like a $4 mum, but it's not going to get much bigger than what you buy. Like usually with mums, whatever size they're at, don't expect them to get bigger because they're not. They're basically at their peak right now, and so don't expect them to get bigger. Also, with all your plants, because of our cooler nights and just the state that the plants are in, they're probably not going to grow a lot. So when I'm in the springtime planting, I'm always telling you leave room, leave room. In the fall, don't worry about it. Pack them as tight as you want. Make them look exactly the way you want them to look because they're only going to have a little bit of growth put on between now and the end of the season. So it's worth packing them full of stuff. So I think that's great. But what I love about what he did is, first of all, he gets his tools out and he shows you which tools he's using to get those plants out of his containers. And he does manage to salvage his trailing plants, which I think look really nice in there. And since he's just adding mums, which are more upright, it's great that he was able to keep those trailers in there. Just gives his containers a little different look. I think it's just a really nice job. He adds, a pumpkin in there just for some color as well. I think does a great job. Absolutely love it. And this is another person that I'm definitely going to be following more. He orders a lot of plants online as well, which I've done in the past. And so he does his unboxing videos and shows you what those are. So I think, he's another one that you're going to want to watch. And it sounds like the bugs are getting really loud behind me. I hope it's not too annoying to you guys, but I can't really stop nature, can I? Next YouTuber is the Blackthumbgardener, and she is in Canada. I'm not sure what part. And I love this video because I love just her whole process, and I absolutely adore her sense of color. She just comes up with this color palette. Actually, she has 2 different color palettes that she uses, and I love the way she talks about them. I love how she talks about the plants. It's just really great. She does show us what the plants look like in the spring as well, which I thought was just a good addition to that video because I didn't see her video in the spring. I just found her as well. And as I'm watching, I love the style that she does. She kind of shows you her mess too, like, oh, got to sweep off the ledge after moving the window boxes that I had on there. Oh, I've got my empty containers all over the place, got to clean those up. I don't know, there's just a very natural sense, and I love the way she is on camera. She's just very, I'm endeared to her, and I love the way, again, how she talks about the plants, just really great. But look at the colors that she uses, the textures. She is definitely like an artist in the way she brings together those colors and textures. I absolutely love it. And yeah, get her on your subscribe list because I think it's definitely worth a watch. And then the last YouTuber I'm going to feature a video on is, she's a mad gardener, and this is Amanda. She's in Texas. I follow her in the wintertime all winter long, partly because she's so far ahead of us in Texas, but also I love the way she talks about plants. I have gotten such an education from her, especially like on seeds and choosing varieties and just the way she talks about all the plants. She is an educator, more than anything. And then she's like a gardener after that. And so she does a great job. And what I love in this is she has her existing containers, and she's going to show us how she kind of reinvents that space, puts new plants in there, but she's also bringing in a lot of pumpkins and gourds and squash and whatever else in there. And I think it's interesting how she explains how she does it, because she basically creates like a sculptural element, and her pumpkins and her gourds and squash or whatever really do become an integral part. She in fact does it before she does any of her planting, which I think is really valuable. And then the plants that she brings in, I think, are just really nice plants, but she's bringing in what I would consider here in Michigan being more of your traditional spring annuals. But for her in Texas, they're plants that don't survive very well not always anyway, in their summer heat. Like she puts petcoas, which are a cross between a petunia and a calibrachoa. In Texas, a lot of times those plants don't do as well. So she's able, in the fall, she buys a basket of them and she shows us how she divides them. And I think that's really a good addition to there, to show us that, hey, it's sometimes cheaper to just take the basket, divide up the plants, and especially if the plants are young. Once they get to a certain size, it gets harder and harder to break them up. Sorry, I'm gonna look over here. There were strange sounds coming from over there, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something that I need to pay attention to. Sorry about that. But anyway, Amanda does a great job. So I do want you to look. First of all, you'll see how she arranges the space. And then as she's doing her planting, she does do like a voiceover of her talking about the plants, and she gives you lots of information about the plants that she's putting in there. And I think that's a really nice addition to her videos. I appreciate it so much. You guys watch mine, I always try to put, names of plants or any extra information, zone information if I can. She does the same thing, and I really appreciate that. And I know how much more work that is when you're putting a video together. So when you're watching that, I want you guys just to pay attention that she has added a little bit more to her video to help you as you're making your decisions and as you're learning about these different plants and things like that. So really, really nice. And before she starts putting plants in, she does do a trim back on some of them. So just really nice video. All her videos are good. You're going to get something out of every single video she does, so it's worth it. Give her the time. I definitely recommend that. And then I had gone and posted with the members of the channel. So if you wanted to, you can become a member of the channel. You get kind of previews of the videos before they go out. There's a couple members only videos as well. But I had asked them, hey, who's doing a great job with fall containers right now? So I'm going to share those with you. Now, YouTube said that there were 4 comments, but it's only showing me 3. So I don't know why that is. That might be a YouTube thing. First one is Gnarly Jones writes, Hello Garden has been rocking it. So Hello Garden does a lot of great videos, talks a lot about specific plants, especially problem-solving plants. So I think her videos are really useful for you guys to check out. And so check out her fall container videos. I haven't seen them yet, so I've got to get down there and watch some of her videos, see what those are all about. Next one comes from Cindy Davis. She writes, Gardening TLC has some beauties. She posted fall containers recipes 12 days ago. She used some colorful Swiss chard and purple cabbage. Very, very nice. And I have to see those as well. And Gardening TLC does a great job. She's high energy, really does a great job with her videos. So I want to check what that's going on. And then Laura Landrum did comment with that. And she said, I was going to say this, they were gorgeous. So 2 people were suggesting Gardening TLC. And then C-Spot Run wrote, Nick's Backyard Blooms was doing some great pumpkins with concrete, and I like the fall plant pots. And I did watch Nicholas's video on his concrete pumpkins. He did it last year. This year he has kind of the upgraded version, or another video on it where he does a couple different things with it. And I don't even want Liam to watch that because he's going to insist that we make these concrete pumpkins. It's a really great video, and he has been doing up some different containers as well. So those are extra ones. So those are the bonus ones coming from the members of this channel's community. So I appreciate that word from the members. I only gave them, it's only a couple hours ago that I posted, so not everybody got a chance probably to make their suggestions, but if I find more, or if there's more suggestions, maybe I could do a second video. Not sure. Again, I'm on the road, so things are kind of crazy, but I hope that this video gives you some inspiration. I hope you discovered some new YouTubers, and or maybe they're YouTubers but maybe you haven't seen their videos yet, you need to get out there and follow these, because there is some really good inspiration out there. And if you have a YouTuber who you think is doing great containers, put their link in the comments, because I want to see them. I think we all want to see them. So check out the comments below and see who else is making some fantastic fall containers. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys all very, very soon.